our candidate in the 9th District for U.S. Congress, unlike her opponent, Liz Watson, shows up and isn't afraid to talk about tough issues facing our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow Democrats, please help me welcome our next Congresswoman, Liz Watson.
Well, this room full of Democrats is a beautiful sight, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say a special thank you to Adam Dickey, our 9th District Chair, Martha Nice, our Vice Chair, State Party Chair John Zodi, State Vice Chair Cordelia Lewis-Burks, for all that you do. So, I first went to see Lee Hamilton more than a year ago, when I was thinking about running for office. And I talked to Lee about what it would mean to run for Congress in Southern Indiana. And Lee told me one of the very best things about running for Congress, actually he said the very best thing about running for Congress is the people you meet along the way. And I can tell you that has been 150% true. And meeting Lee Hamilton and getting to learn from Congressman Hamilton has been really one of the great joys of my life. So thank you, Congressman. Congressman Hamilton told me that day about the importance of listening to people, about the importance of showing up and really listening, showing up at the bean suppers, at the county fairs, at the parades, the festivals, really, really listening. And that's what I've been doing for more than a year now. I've been out all across the 9th District holding town halls on jobs. We had a town hall on jobs and infrastructure in Orange County, on health care, on the opioid crisis, on what we're going to do to make our communities better together. I've been listening to Hoosiers. So I want to tell you something about what I've been hearing. I'm hearing that Hoosiers can't afford to fill their prescriptions, that the opioid crisis is gutting our communities, that our public schools and our unions, two of the institutions that built the middle class in this country, are under attack. I heard from a woman in Mitchell at our town hall on the opioid crisis. She was fighting to keep her son in recovery, fighting to try to find a way that he could get a good paying job that could help him have the will to stay sober. She told me that after that night, she contacted Trey Hollingsworth. And she said, Congressman Hollingsworth, yesterday at the Mitchell Public Library, we had one of the most important conversations we've had in a very long time here in Lawrence County. And you weren't there. And you've never been here. And you've never showed up. And you aren't listening. We deserve someone who's going to listen to us. We deserve someone who cares. So I had the honor of actually teaching 2 of Congressman Hamilton's books to a class that I taught at SPIA on the legislative process. And here's what Congressman Hamilton says about the job of a representative. It's very simple. The job, it's hard to do, but the idea is very simple. The job of a representative is to listen to the people you represent and to try to take their concerns to Washington and to work together with them to make their lives and their communities better. Well, right here in the 9th District, we have a representative, Joseph Albert Hollingsworth III, or Trey for short, who's not doing his job. He's not fighting for us. He's fighting only for himself and his billionaire class special interest friends. Our very own representative and his dad paid $4.5 million, my friends, for his seat in Congress. They waltzed in here from Tennessee and they bought our congressional seat, a congressional seat out from under us. That's not how this is supposed to work. He bought it for $4.5 million, and then he went in there and used Congress as his own personal cash register, and he took out $4.5 million in a tax cut that he got by rushing the tax scam through Congress in the dead of night in December. You know, when you go to Congress, you're not supposed to line your own pockets. You're supposed to represent the people who sent you there. So we're fighting back. We're fighting for an Indiana that works for every single one of us, not just the wealthy and the well-connected. It's time to restore sanity to our government here in Indiana and nationwide. My friends, right now the folks in charge are definitely lacking in any Hoosier common sense whatsoever. So what hangs in the balance in November? Our health care, our ability to breathe clean air, to have clean water, the need for investments in our infrastructure, and you all drive on our roads, you know how much we need those. Even our democracy itself hangs in the balance. And taking back the House of Representatives for Democrats is the single most effective thing we can do. It's the fastest thing we can do to get our country back on track. And my friends, the path to the House majority, it runs straight through the 9th District. So, just a minute about my background. I grew up in Bloomington. Hey, Bloomingtonians. My family is sitting right over here. The Wave family, here they are. So my family entered the middle class in a single generation because of some federal investments that were made in working families. See, when my dad's dad died, it was Social Security survivors benefits that made sure that my dad and his 2 brothers had a roof over their head. And we just celebrated the birthday of Social Security this week. My dad was the first in his family to go to college after serving in the Navy. He went to IU Bloomington. Go Hoosiers. And when he got sick a little while back, it was Medicare that made sure that my dad got better. Medicare meant our family didn't have to choose between getting my dad the treatment he needed and making sure that my mom didn't lose the house. You know, when you have a serious illness, any family could be at risk of going bankrupt unless they have the health care they need. And that's why I'm going to work hard to protect Medicare, to protect Social Security, to protect the institutions that help build the middle class. My friends, those are the same institutions that help build my family, and I'm not about to let this corrupt Congress take them away. And I just want to mention for a minute that this week we celebrated my dad's 86th birthday, and I'm so happy to be able to say happy birthday tonight in this event, which I know I'm just taking a moment of indulgence to do that. So what I was taught growing up by my family is that if you get to climb the ladder to the middle class, you don't pull that ladder up after you. You leave it in place for the next hardworking person who comes along so that they can climb up too. And that's why I became a workers' rights attorney. It's why I fought for working people who were treated unfairly on the job. It's why I worked in the United States Congress as the labor policy director for the Democrats in the House, fighting to level the playing field for working families across this country. And it's why when I saw a Congress that was motivated by corruption and greed, moving to take away our health care, to take away the safety and health protections that keep our guys and gals in the building trades and in our factory floors safe on the job and going home to their husbands and their wives at the end of the day. It's why when I saw a Congress that was taking away every single thing that we had worked for and hold dear, something in me just broke. It broke. And maybe if for me it had been mediated by a TV screen, and I hadn't seen a lot of that happen standing on the House floor, maybe I wouldn't have had quite the same reaction. But I took it hard, and I knew that I had to fight back. And I can tell you, there are hardworking Hoosiers, resilient people all across the 9th District who have been standing shoulder to shoulder with me for a solid year fighting back and fighting for the Indiana and the America that we all deserve. My friends, I think it's time for a Congress that gets things done. I've had just about enough of political grandstanding, ramming legislation through in the dead of night that helps Wall Street and big banks and nobody else. And guess what? People in the 9th District have had enough too. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee has named us the only red to blue race in our state. What that means is we, right here in the 9th District, have the best chance at flipping a congressional seat from a Republican to Democrat of any House race in the state. The folks right here in this room, the work that we do between now and the election in November will decide the outcome. If we work for it, if we give our blood, our sweat, our tears to fighting for the change we need, I truly believe we will win. We can elect excellent candidates in Indiana, from Joe Donnelly on down to school board, if we fight the way we need to. I'm going to tell you what, though, it's going to take every single one of us getting in this together. We're Democrats. We're no strangers to hard work. We can do this. This is the most important election of my lifetime. So I'm going to ask you this. What are we going to tell the next generation when they ask us, what did you do in 2018? When they came for the America that we know and love? Are you going to be able to say, you made the calls, you knocked on the doors, you registered the voters, you wrote the checks? Are you going to be able to say you wore out the soles of your shoes? That's what I want you to be able to say. Because if each and every one of us right here, right now in this room is able to say that, we will win in November. All right, my friends, it's up to us. Hoosiers are counting on us. A nation is counting on us. Thank you.
Everybody smile, say Mom's gonna win. All right.